Joblessness has reached levels not seen in more than a decade. The unemployment rate has risen again to 5.4%, the highest since 2015. There are now 165,000 people without work. Now, that's an increase of 5,000 on the previous quarter. The data also shows that 15,000 people managed to find a job, which the Finance Minister says is good news. Nicola Willis acknowledging she would prefer the unemployment rate to be lower, but insisting the underlying details are positive. But that's cold comfort for the 270 people set to lose their jobs as the Warehouse Group looks to restructure its head office on the North Shore. And as Zane Small reports, students unable to find work are also finding it hard to see the bright side.
Mateen Mustafa is 20 years old and he's struggling to find a job.
It's not that my resume is bad. I've worked at a couple places. I work in restaurants. I worked at the Foot Locker, other places where I have a good resume, but there's not a lot of jobs out there.
He's studying law at Auckland University and survives on a student allowance of around $270 a week.
It's enough just to get by.
His struggle is reflected in official figures out today, showing the unemployment rate has risen again to 5.4%, representing 165,000 people without work. At 5.4%, the unemployment rate is now the highest in a decade. It reached 5.7% in the September quarter of 2015. That pales in comparison to the unemployment rate for youth aged between 15 and 24. At the end of 2024, it was 15%. It's now risen to 16.5%.
Some of my friends actually left for Australia, and they said in a week they found jobs already.
I don't think the government can spin their way out of this. They've been saying for over a year now that unemployment had peaked and that things were getting better, that there were green shoots in the economy. And for so many New Zealand families, things have continued to get worse.
I always want to drive that unemployment number lower, absolutely. What I was pleased to see was 15,000 more jobs having been created in the past 3 months. That's 15,000 Kiwis in work.
Kiwi Bank economist Sabrina Delgado shared a similar perspective.
The unemployment rate rose today, but we also saw a re-engagement from workers in the market.
But in contrast to that, 270 people are set to lose their jobs as the Warehouse Group looks to restructure its head office in Auckland.
We are still seeing these stories of jobs being lost and even liquidations, for example, and it is quite common to see this at the tail end of a recession.
Adding to the struggle, incomes aren't rising as much as the cost of living. Wage growth was 2% in the 12 months to December, compared with price inflation at 3.1%.
Wages are still reflecting that weakness that's in the economy right now. At the moment, we have seen consumer prices lift in recent quarters. We do expect the price pressure that we've been seeing to ease back.
We are getting that stabilisation and recovery in the economy.
But that perspective is difficult to digest for Mateen as he searches for work.
I would like to stay here because my family, I like my mom, dad, my brother, grandma, everyone's here, so I don't want to leave them behind. But at the same time, if there's no job market to survive, there's no jobs, you're kind of forced to leave.
A pathway to employment that Mateen, like many his age, may be forced to take.